A big journey from 1992 till 2018 or 2017 is how the whole question framing has changed. There is a title dispute of land between various people. This has been simmering since the late 40s, and there has been a dispute which has had religious overtones. But to just see it completely as a Hindu versus Muslim question and to talk about injured sentiments of the majority community has been part of a long political project. So to term the Ayodhya title dispute as looking for when can we build the Ram Mandir itself explains very clearly what the political project is about.
राम मंदिर बनना चाहिए, सबकी सहमति से बनना चाहिए।
कांग्रेस नहीं चाहती है श्री राम जन्मभूमि पर मंदिर निर्माण।
जब भगवान चाहेगा तभी राम मंदिर बनेगा।
The RSS and its affiliates and the BJP is very clear that it's a huge emotive question framed simply why you cannot have a big temple like the Vatican or the Mecca or whatever parallels that are put. So it is actually trying to create a cause for concern, a cause for agitation in the minds of the majority. And angry majorities can be very difficult to control, and they become a very viable political project if they bring in the votes. That is the purpose of that at a fundamental philosophical level. At a more immediate level, with us rushing into elections in the Hindi heartland, which is known to be prone to whipping up of these kind of sentiments. Ayodhya is in North India, so a lot of people would relate to it in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. That is the premise. And then we're heading on to the national elections. So to act as a fundamental brand differentiator from the others, so you push others into a corner where they are the anti-Hindu party and the BJP being the sole party which will deliver for you spiritually a peace, is the point. Mr. Modi came on spectacular set of promises, some very heartening good things that he said, the good days, the Achhe Din that had to be delivered to India. Once that comes a cropper, the economy is tanking, then the mandir becomes something you can frame and put out for your supporters and beyond. It was in the late 1880s that there was a skirmish there. Attempts were made by the Nirmohi Akhada, which is one of the original litigants there, to have puja at the Babri Mosque. So worship continued, namaz continued, and there was some little bit of puja also happening on the side. But there's a major break in shortly after independence, in the completely polarized and very difficult atmosphere in India, that suddenly there was a case for the murtis having emerged. Now there are a whole lot of things about whether it was a miracle that the murtis materialized or they were put there overnight, and the district collector's office at that time almost allowed this thing to take place and to push it that the murtis arrived. So there was this whole element of the miracle as opposed to what was really on the ground. That is this large three-domed medieval structure built by Mir Baqi. The other landmark thing that happened was in '84 when Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister, then Arun Nehru got the locks opened. That kind of truly opened the floodgate. And the Vishwa Hindu Parishad saw a great opportunity to use a lot of support, money from even overseas, to rally themselves, to rally the cause and talk about Ram Mandir. So that was not really a BJP cause when it started out, it was a VHP cause. The Congress in those days thought it could ride this tiger and kind of help and pretend that it was also pro-Hindu. Between kind of bringing the Shah Bano bill and taking it back and opening the locks, the Congress party lost out. And the emergence of the BJP as a strong flag bearer for this, so the VHP actually decides that it must invest its lot in the BJP. And then of course in the 90s there are a lot of things happening. There is Mandal, which is a caste movement being pushed by VP Singh, the government of which is being supported by the BJP. But when they see that this is happening, it was the ideal moment to mount the Rath. That is the first time it actually unleashes its tremendous powers to divide India. And the whole thing is used as a dog whistle, as a fairly loud dog whistle, actually human beings hearing it loud and clearly too, about whose side are you on. So as a divisive idea, after partition, it is something that really divides India down the middle. Its roots and its origins are to do from what was happening before the 6th of December, because you have a BJP government which has Kalyan Singh as the chief minister, which has a series of Supreme Court orders which it claims to abide by, but it allows a collection of more than 1 lakh of people at the Ramkatha Kunj and areas surrounding the mosques. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister at that time, and he had tried to have several dialogues between Hindus and Muslims. So rather than see it as a land dispute or as a question that needs kind of taking emotion out of it and then arriving at a reasonable solution that of course has faith also in it, it became a question of just trying to make it a one kind of citizen versus another. So of course there was a court mandated allowed Kar Seva, or a little bit of construction activity or symbolic activity, Sanketik Kar Seva, which was allowed outside the cordoned off area, which included the Babri Masjid. But because it was allowed to be at that point, and hysteria was whipped up well before 6th of December, and obviously there was a high degree of complicity by the central forces when they were allowed to turn this in the presence of senior BJP leaders, which included L.K. Advani, which included Murli Manohar Joshi, which included Uma Bharti. Our present Prime Minister was also an important part of the entire management of the Rath Yatra, though I don't think he was present on the 6th of December. In the presence of BJP top leadership, you have the mosque being brought down in about 5 hours from about the demolition efforts began sharply at 12, and it almost seemed as if there were clear instructions about who was to go in. It was a commando group of people, a select group of people who went in and brought this fairly impressive 3-dome structure down till about 5:30. Kalyan Singh does not tender his resignation till then, and he resigns after 5:30, after which you would expect that law and order would be something that the central government would have its remit over. But quite shockingly at that time, Narasimha Rao does not order the central forces to move in till 2 nights after that. So you have a makeshift mandir that is built there at that site after the demolition is over. As we see what happened after the demolition of the Babri Masjid, the riots weren't confined to UP, Ayodhya, or even North India. You had riots in Hyderabad, you had riots in Bengal, you had riots in Maharashtra, even in Karnataka and Hubli. And the BJP thinks it's found the issue with divisiveness, with blood, and projecting itself as a Hindu party as being a forefront campaign tool for them. Much more than lawlessness is prevailing elsewhere, because riots where 300 people, 200 people, 400 people die, and it doesn't even just end with the rioting that that opens out in cities. You have the Bombay riots that happen. You have the Bombay riots that go on for a long time, and then you have the blasts in March 1993, which also claimed a lot of lives. So there's an all-round mayhem, discord. Seeds are sown quite soundly from the events on the 6th of December 1992.
सबको को अल्टीमेटम दे देना चाहिए। 6 दिसंबर में हमने ढांचा तोड़ा, 6 दिसंबर में ही हमें शिलान्यास करना है।
मंदिर था, मंदिर है और मंदिर रहेगा।
अपने लिए एक भव्य परिवेश हमारे हाथ से, उनकी इच्छा से वो बना लेंगे। इसमें शंका करने का कोई कारण नहीं, यही होगा और दूसरा कुछ नहीं होगा। राम मंदिर और विकास में कोई अंतर विरोध नहीं है, दोनों साथ साथ हो सकते हैं।
राम मंदिर, जहां भगवान राम पैदा हुए हैं वहां तो राम का मंदिर होना ही चाहिए।
Even in terms of the mobilization, our ground reports tell us that it is not more than 25,000. So while it was a loud noise, but it was probably not at the scale at which the mobilization was allowed to be done in 1992. So in that sense, it's not comparable. Where the situation is comparable is that there is a degree of mobilization, there's a degree to kind of stoke injury and to talk about it in terms of build the temple, the pressure on the courts. So all of those signs, some of the slogans are similar. The dissimilarity, of course, is that in terms of bringing something down has a kind of a potency and a kind of acid that is very hard to talk about when you talk about building something. Number two, I think when the BJP is in opposition, as it was a resurgent new party founded in 1980. So it could, anger, etc. and all could be whipped up much more easily. It was a second nature thing. It worked as a new party thing. When you're in power with the full majority, 4.5 years of your tenure done in the center, and a lot of kind of slogans and promises down in UP with agrarian distress, to play this kind of injured person is becoming difficult. The big difference is that at that time, even at least symbolically, you had people saying that this was the wrong thing and this should not be done. Now, even for the sake of saying it, there's not been a word of criticism or addressing any of the fears of the BJP government at the center or at the state.
लेकिन राम जन्मभूमि के मार्ग में सबसे बड़ी बाधा तो कांग्रेस है।
मुख्यमंत्री के लेवल के जब इस प्रकार के हल्के टिप्पणियां करते हैं तो वो अपनी अज्ञान पूर्णतया जिसको इग्नोरेंस कह सकते हैं वो दर्शाते हैं।
आज भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी राम मंदिर निर्माण के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है, संकल्पबद्ध है।
2019 से पहले इनको याद आया कि राम मंदिर भी बनना चाहिए।
There are serious kind of problems legally for a law or an ordinance to be brought here. Politically, I think to ask what is the point of view of the other parties, this is actually the BJP's issue. And the BJP, part of the whole BJP game would be to get everybody to have opinions about it. So I think where the opposition sees it itself as doing is to not get into this argument at all and to see this as a grand, huge destructive distraction, if you like. So, if they give a reaction, they're damned. If they don't give one, then they're damned. So I think they would best do well to just locate it in a larger matrix of things and issues that need the government's attention.